Namita, you can stop sharing once. I do understand that I was very fast because within a minimum time I have to tell maximum content.
I understand, madam. Very nicely done. Okay.
Is my MATLAB screen visible now?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible. Yes, ma'am, it is
No,
visible.
ma'am. No, no, sir. It's not visible for us. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now it's visible, ma'am.
Visible, ma'am.
Okay. Participants, can you be with me for another 20 minutes so that we can finish the hands-on training?
We are eagerly waiting for
We
this
will.
hands-on session only, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Actually, I
we.
thought.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, let us all gear up for this hands-on session. See, whatever we have seen so far, I'm just going to show simple commands used in MATLAB to get the answer. Okay. First, let me start with the basic commands in MATLAB. Okay. The basic command is clear all. Okay. What is the meaning of clear all? Is it will clear all the variables in the workspace. Suppose if I give a equal to 1, a is a variable which is created in the workspace. Okay. So if I just put clear all, see here you are able to see the variable a. Are you able to see the variable a here? I'm pointing it with my mouse pointer. Okay. Now if I put clear all, it is going to clear that variable. Yeah, that variable is now gone. Now my workspace is free. Okay. Now another simple command is CLC, clearing the screen. Clearing the screen. These are very simple commands. Now, why the name MATLAB has come? MATLAB because it is called Matrix Laboratory. The expansion for MATLAB is Matrix Laboratory. So whatever you work in MATLAB, it will be taken as a two-dimensional array. That is a matrix. So only it is called that is MATLAB. Okay, and it is a wonderful software tool developed by a team of people who are called MathWorks in USA at Bell Laboratories. Okay, and every day they are coming up with the new versions of MATLAB with new toolboxes added so that we can use it for wide number of applications. Now we have tools for machine learning. Now we have tools for big data analytics. Lot of new tools have come up in MATLAB licensed version. Okay. Now, how to handle matrices in MATLAB? Okay. So first, let me load your data. Let me show you. I'm just creating a matrix, magic of 5. Magic is a built-in function which will create a magic matrix of size 5 cross 5. You are able to see some 5 cross 5 matrix. So this A matrix, I'm going to take, say, the last row. What is the last row? 11, 18, 25, 29. I want to extract the last row from that matrix. I have to give last row is fifth row, comma, all columns. So what is the procedure in MATLAB? First argument always denotes row. Second argument always denotes column. So if I give a of I comma is 2, it will pick out the last row alone. Similarly, if I want to take the third column, can you tell me the command? I want to take the third column, 1, 7, 13, 19, 25. This third column, I have to extract from the matrix. What is the appropriate command I can use? Any guess?
Colon 3.
Colon 3.
Yeah,
Colon
very good. Colon comma 3. That is the command I can use. Okay. So I'm taking the third column alone. Suppose if I want to take a subset of a matrix, say for example, 6, 13, 12, 19. 6, 13, 12, 19. Where it comes, it starts from third row, it ends at fourth row, and it starts from second column and it ends at third column. So this is extracting a portion of row as well as column. So I'll put it as 3:4, starting at third row, ending at fourth row, starting at second column and ending at third column. So I'll be able to get the center part.
Colon 3.
Yeah, very good. So these are the basic things you have to know before applying the machine learning commands in MATLAB. How to handle matrices, how to extract a portion of the matrices, how to delete a row in a matrix, how to delete a column in a matrix. These things you have to know. Now let me put clear all and CLC. Okay, now I'm going to load a data which is a database already available in MATLAB. Load Fisher Iris. Fisher Iris is a for flowers. Okay, you know flowers. Okay, as soon as I give this command load Fisher Iris. Fisher Iris is a data file. From the data file, two variables are loaded. One is called mees, another one is called species. Mees is a X data, input data. Species is the output data. What is this mees? Mees, if I type and press enter, I will be able to see the contents of the mees. It is having 4 columns. If I want to see the size of mees, I will put size of mees. It is 150 cross 4. Okay, 150 samples, 4 variables. What are the 4 variables? Petal length, petal width, sepal length, and sepal width. Okay, for a flower, you will have petal and sepal. Okay, so based on the petal length, petal width, sepal length, and sepal width, you are going to classify that flower. What are the various species to which the flower belongs to? The flower belongs to 3 species. I will show you. I will tell you the size also. The size of the species also is 150 cross 1. That means you have 150 samples. For each sample, you are telling what type of species the flower belongs to. So, what are the various species types you are having? I can use a function in MATLAB called unique, which will tell me that in that species matrix, I am having 3 unique values. One value is Setosa. Setosa is one species name. Versicolor is another species name. And Virginia is another species name. Okay, so I'm having 3 species name here. Okay, so I have 150 data samples and they belong to either Setosa or versicolor or Virginia. Okay, so these are the things you have to know. Now this is coming under the classification problem. Suppose if I give you a new flower data with the petal length, petal width, sepal length and sepal width, based upon my model, machine learning algorithm, it should be able to predict or classify to which flower species it belongs to. That is my objective. Okay. First, let me work with KNN classify. Before working with KNN classify, I have to keep my data matrix ready for giving us input to the KNN classifier. How will I make the data matrix ready? Okay, now what I am going to do is, I am going to convert, this is a text form, Setosa versicolor. I am going to call label 1 for Setosa, label 2 for versicolor, and label 3 for Virginia. In MATLAB, you have a command called group to IDX. So I am going to put target equal to group to IDX of species. See, all is converted to label 1, label 2, label 3. Now if I put unique of target, I should get 1, 2, 3. Yes, class level 1, class level 2, class level 3. Right. Now what I am going to do is, my mees is my input data, target is my output data, which is in numeric format. Okay. Now there are 150 samples. I will randomly choose few samples for training and few samples for testing purpose. So a normal practice is 75% to 80% can be used for training. I will take 80%. See, in 150 samples, I am going to choose 80% of the samples for training. So that means how many samples? What is 80% of 150? What is 80% of 150?
Around 55, ma'am.
No, 120.
120.
80% of 150 is 120. Okay, so 120 samples I am going to reserve for training, remaining 30 samples for testing. So what I am going to do here is, I am going to have, see, if I choose first 120 for training and the 121st sample to 150th for testing, that is not the correct procedure, because first 120 will have one characteristics, the remaining 30 will have one characteristics. See, if you really club this mesh and the target and see, here you can see, Here, the first 4 variable is input, fifth one is target. See, all the first 50 belong to class label 1. The next 50 belong to class label 2. The third 50 belongs to class label 3. If I take first 120 for training and remaining 30 for testing, what will happen? All class 3 labels will come to testing. But this is not a good way of separation. We should have a mixture of all class label samples in training as well as in testing. So in order to avoid this one, I am going to use a function in MATLAB called random perm. Random permutation. Random perm of 150 if I give, it will generate numbers from 1 to 150 uniquely. That is, no number will be repeated anywhere. Okay, some random numbers will be generated from 150 to 1. Now using this IDX, I am going to separate into training and testing. So train set input or train index, train IDX will be equal to, in IDX I am going to select 1 to 120. So what is the variable name? IND, not IDX, IND. Okay, so I am generating train IDX. I am generating the indices, that is sample numbers which I have to pick for training. Only sample number I am selecting. I am putting in a variable called train IDX. Similarly, text IDX will be equal to IND of 121 is to end. End means last one, 150. So here you can see test IDX is having 30 and train IDX is having 120. And this will be random. In train IDX, I'll be having 150, 150 at the sample, 117 sample, 50 at the sample. Here and there, I'll be having samples. Now, I'm input, which is going to be taken from means of IDX, comma is 2. So here you can see train set input is a 120 cross 4 matrix. These 120 samples have been randomly picked here and there from the original matrix. Okay. Similarly, train output will be taken from the target matrix with a corresponding index, train index. So I am able to get the train set output 120 cross 1. It is taken from the target. Okay. Similarly, test set input will be having 30 samples with the test index. Is it clear? Test set output. Any doubt up to this? I have taken a data sample, separated training and testing set by choosing samples randomly from the original data matrix. Any doubt in this separation? Can I proceed further?
No.
Excuse me.
Okay. Now,
Ma'am, what is the keyword for randomly selecting, ma'am?
randomly selecting, I am using a random perm, ma'am. Random perm is one function where I will generate a vector, a single column vector with random numbers from 1 to 150 with no repetitions. So what will happen? This I am selecting as the index number. So once I put 123 means 123rd sample will be selected. 99th sample will be selected. Is it clear, madam?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
But this random selection is left to the computer, is it?
Yes, left to the computer. See, again, if I put random perm, the order will change. The order will change. Every time when I put random perm, initially the 150, 117, some order is there. Then some other order will come. So only what we have to do is We have to
Once.
put this random term once, copy that column
Only
vector
one.
and keep once. Otherwise, every time you will start with a different initial point. If you start with a different initial point, sometimes you cannot arrive at the global solution. So that is the thing here you have to understand. Okay. After separating into training and testing, the first classifier which I am going to use is KNN classify. Okay. So before going to KNN classify, let me show you scatter plot. Okay. So I'm going to do it as a scatter plot. I'm going to see that input data matrix is having 4 variables. First column is petal length, second column is petal width, third is sepal length and sepal width. I'm going to take only the first 2 columns because I can draw only 2-dimensional plot. I cannot show you more than 2 dimension in the plot. So therefore I'm taking the first 2 column alone. Means of is2, 1. Is2 means all rows first column. Means of is2, 2 again all rows second column and with respect to species. Now you will get a plot. Please hold on. Yeah. So can you see this plot? Is the plot visible?
No, ma'am.
No,
Slide is
madam.
not changed. That page is not
No,
changed.
ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, when the MATLAB screen is visible, the plot should be visible now.
Oh, ma'am, you need to share that plot graph.
And you have to share the entire screen, ma'am. You have shared
You
the
have to
window.
open it or share that plot graph.
Oh. Is the plot visible now?
No, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you are seeing red dots, green dots, and blue dots in the plot. Red dot belongs to one flower type, green dots are another flower type, and blue dots belongs to another flower type. Okay. So you see how it is scattered here and there. If I want to find a boundary separating this, how non-linear it is, you just see. Of course, maybe I can separate red and this separately because I can just put a line here. But I cannot separate this green and the blue, which is very clumsy. So I have to use some machine learning algorithm. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
now I will go for KNN classifier, the first algorithm. Very simple in MATLAB, just to use the function KNN classifier. You need not have to break your head at all. You need not have to write any special coding. Lines and lines of coding is not required. Okay. So I'm going to have the KNN train output. KNN train output will be equal to KNN classify of, first let me give you the train set input itself, comma, this is the syntax, okay, I will show you the syntax. Train set output. So what is the meaning of this here if you see? There is some variable, yeah, yes should be small. See, what is the syntax is, you have to give 3 arguments. First argument is for what input data you are going to do the testing. Then this two is x comma y. This is your x versus y. For this input, this output. For this input, this output. Okay. So I'm giving the training input and training corresponding output as my training data, and I'm testing for training itself first. First, I'm testing for the given training data itself whether the classification is correct or not. Okay. In order to know how many have been correctly classified, I'll use a function called find in MATLAB. I will compare my KNN output with my actual output. My actual output is My actual output is train set output. I'm comparing my KNN output with my actual output, 1 to 1 for each sample. See, I'm getting an empty matrix. What is the meaning? All the outputs of my KNN are matching with my desired output. The class labels are correctly classified in my KNN classifier. Because I have given the test data as training data itself. Okay, are you able to understand? Aதாவது, I'm not given an unseen data. I have given the seen data. Already the model has seen that data. For the same data only I'm doing the testing. So obviously I'll get 100% accuracy. There is no big beauty in it. Okay, but I have to see it for the testing data. Now instead of train, I will change it to test. I am training my model with the train data, but I am testing using an unseen data called test data. Now I will use, I will change this variable name also. I'll put it as, instead of train, I will put it as test. Now I will use find function and see how many of my KNN test output is matching my actual output in the test sample. See, 1 is mismatching. The 6th sample is mismatching. Okay, the 6th sample is mismatching. So if I just club these two, I will be able to see where the 6th sample is mismatching. See, you can see here, you can go up and see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, 6th sample is mismatching. My KNN is giving class label as 3, whereas my actual class label is 2. My KNN is telling it belongs to Virginsa species, but my actual is, are you able to understand? So there is one error. So what is the accuracy? Out of 30 samples, 29 samples are correctly classified. So 29 out of 30 into 100 is the accuracy. Is it clear? Hello?
Yeah, clear, madam.
Yeah. So this is what KNN classify. Very simple command. KNN classify. That's all. Your thing is over. Then you have to do a lot of classification. There are a lot of performance measures you have to find out in order to represent in your journal article. Okay. Now I will go to the next one. That is decision tree. So decision tree. There is a function called class reg tree. Let me put help class reg tree to know the syntax. Class regression tree, that is the expansion. Okay, so they have already given for the same load Fisher ISIS itself. So I will just copy these two commands. So first let me copy the first command, t equal to class reg tree of, what is the meaning? This is the syntax, input data, output data. I'm giving all the data, and I'm in order to see in the tree structure, I'm giving these names: sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width. Now I am giving view tree in order to see the tree structure. Whether the tree structure is visible. Is the tree structure visible, my participants?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So here you can see it's simple statement only. So only it is called decision tree. If petal length is less than this value, petal length is greater than, then it belongs to Setosa. Else it will come and check this condition. Based on this condition, it will go to Virginsa. Again, it will check this condition. See, the simple tree structure which is there, and that it has an inbuilt algorithm. That algorithm will run and this result. If you really wanted to know what is that algorithm, you have to go and see this and see what is that algorithm is. So now I am going to repeat this for my train and test. Okay. So what I am going to do is I am going to have T1 equal to class reg of input I'm going to train it using the training set data and evaluate using the test set data. So I don't need all these things. I don't want to give names. Let's put like this. I will view my tree structure T1. So it is belonging to class label 1. Here you can see it is giving 2.667, but there is no class like 2.667. We have only integer number. So we have to do rounding. We have to do rounding when we get the output. Okay. So there is a function called evaluation. Using evaluation, I can do the evaluation of the tree. So I have to evaluate the tree T1. First, let me evaluate with the training set itself, which is the data samples which is already seen by the decision tree. So I will put it as DT train output. Decision tree train output, I will evaluate it. After evaluating, I have to do the rounding also. Let me do the rounding here itself, because it will give, otherwise it will give decimal number. So now I will use find function to see how much of my decision tree output matches with the actual training output. Yeah, this there are 2 samples that are misclassified. 41 sample and 82 sample is misclassified. Okay, for training itself. Although the training samples have been seen by it. Okay. Now I will do it for testing. Instead of training, I will give the test set, and I will give here also test set. And I will use find function again. And compare the decision tree output with the actual output. Again, here 6th sample in KN, and also 6th sample was not classified. Here also 6th sample. 6th sample is a problematic sample. Okay. So see, then what you have to do in order to improve the accuracy, you have to go and change certain set parameters in the decision. Okay, and if you see the syntax, a lot of default values it will take. You can change it and you can trial and error. You can work and see the decision tree performance is improving for your application. Is decision tree clear? Is decision tree clear?
Very complicated, madam.
Yes.
Okay.
No, you have to go back and work again.
Yeah. Well, only if we work, I think we'll understand.
Actually, if we have an offline FTP, I will make you to sit in front of computers and we can have 2 hours exclusively for this. I will make you as a teacher, and you being a student, I will drill you left and right. But that opportunity was not given. You are fortunate you did not get the drilling from me. I used to drill my students. Anyhow, so I have demonstrated 2 algorithms today, KNN classified and decision tree. Similar algorithms can also be demonstrated. 12:15, and you are also exhausted. You'll be having, although you got a lot of inputs for your brain, your stomach will be now burning for you to get some food. So I should understand that also. I'll just show my program here. This is the program which I developed. I will share this program also. I don't have any confidentiality in this because already all this work has been published in my research article. So I will share this program with my coordinator, Noorul Hamida. She will share to all the participants along with the PPT. You can have the MATLAB, even MATLAB 2014 version is enough for this program to run. Okay, I will just run this program and show to you so that you can understand this program. What I have done here is it's a pattern recognition program. I have given sample data sets here. like breast cancer data set. These are all these built-in data sets available in MATLAB. And also some power system data sets I have given, which I have generated. And after giving the data sets, I have used data generation stage where data normalization is done. See, whatever I have shown you now, I have done without data normalization. I have not normalized the input matrix. Okay. But in general practice, you have to normalize. So this data generation stage, it is one program. It will call this program where it will do the data normalization using min-max algorithm. This is the coding for that. Okay. And then I have called another program called feature selection. So in feature selection, I have written coding for everything. It will call one program for one method, and accordingly, it will give the results. Then classifier design, here also I will call one program. Like here you can see one program I will call. If I need navy base, I will call this program. If I need a method of least squares, I will call this program. So if I need KNN, neural network classifier, MLP means I will call MLP. So I'll just run the program and show you. So it is asking what type of data set we want to use, whether I will go for power system or real world. The participants can tell the choice.
Systems, ma'am.
Power system. So I'll go for WSC 9 bus Anderson system. It's a 9 bus system. I'll give my option as 5. So it will go for the power system data WSCC 9 bus. This is a Washington system. So you just see, once I give that 5, it runs the data generation. In data generation, it has generated 174 samples. It belongs to 2 class labels, that is secure or insecure, whether the power system is secure or insecure. And among 174, 34 is in class level 1, that is secure case. 140 is in insecure case. Okay. Then I have separated this 34 for training and test. So for training, I'm using 24 samples, and for testing, I'm using 10. Similarly, in 140, I'm using 106 for training and 34 for testing. So the data generation is over. After data generation, the data sets have been normalized and they have been separated into training and testing. Now the second step is feature selection. Now there are a lot of feature selection algorithms which I shall go. It is also the choice of the participants. Participants, can you tell one choice? 1 to 7 algorithms we have written. Give some random number from 1 to 7.
5.
3, ma'am.
Which number, ma'am?
5.
3, ma'am.
See, actually 5
Give
is sequential feature. Sequential feature selection. Okay, I'll go for 5. 5 is a vapor model. So 1 to 4 is a filter model. 5, 6, 7 is vapor model. Okay, so you just see here, after the feature selection, it is telling out of the features, how many features are there? I think more than 10 features are there. Out of the 10 features, only 3 features have been selected. And the total CPU time used for the feature selection algorithm, the classification accuracy and the misclassification is shown here. Using that feature sets, it is doing the classification using all algorithms, starting from KNN. So in KNN, it is giving the classification accuracy of 100% in training, whereas 90% in testing. Okay. And similarly, the mean squared error rate is given here for training and testing. Misclassification 1. What is misclassification 1? How many samples belonging to class 1 has been wrongly classified as class 2? Similarly, what is misclassification 2? How many samples belonging to class 2 have been wrongly classified as class 1? Hope you understand. Okay. So that is called misclassification. See, yes, one is class level 1 is secure. Class level 2 is insecure. You just imagine a power system. Okay. You can classify a secure as insecure. That is not a big thing. But if you classify wrongly as insecure as secure, what will happen? The power system will go to blackout. Okay. So you cannot allow MC2 to appear. MC2 should be as minimum as possible. So these are the various algorithms, classifier algorithm and its corresponding output. like method of least squares, neural network, MLP is that is multi-layer perceptron, LVQ is also a neural network, learning vector quantization, PNN is also a neural network, probabilistic neural network. So like that, for number of neural network algorithm, that particular data sets is being run and the samples have been classified. Is it clear?
Clear, madam.
Yeah. So if you are really interested, to do research in the topic, you can very well refer my algorithms. You can, I have written coding, although built-in tools are available. I am not satisfied with the built-in tools. If I write coding on my own, I can change, I can understand the crux of the system, the heart of the system. If I don't write coding and if I use the function as it is, I cannot understand what is happening inside. So I have written coding myself. Thank you very much. I hope I have done little bit of justice for this session, whatever has been allotted to me by Dr. Prince and Mrs. Nooril Hamida. So to understand that, I was very fast. My 4 years of research work I have demonstrated in 2 hours to you. So it's a bit difficult, but even then, you would have got some concepts and ideas through which you can develop through self-learning.
It was an
Any
excellent
other
session,
doubt?
ma'am.
Can we clap our hands?
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All of you be safe. I will share my PPT and programs with you. Please have a look of it. And whenever you have any doubt when you do research, just put a mail to me or put a WhatsApp to me. Sometimes I will not pick my mobile. That is my biggest drawback. Okay. But I used to respond to emails and WhatsApp whenever I see it. Okay. So you just put your doubts in mail or WhatsApp. I'll be happy to clarify.
Mail ID you'll be sharing in that
Mitchell.
chat, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Mail ID and phone number. My phone number and WhatsApp number are same. So I will the PPT. My first slide itself has mail ID and WhatsApp number. You can use it.
One last question, madam.
Yes. Yes, sir.
This book you described, McGraw-Hill,
Yeah.
Tom Mitchell.
Tom Mitchell. Yes.
Should I start with that, or where can I begin? It looks I'm a beginner in this.
Yeah. In that case, you have to start with that only because I started with that.
Okay. Right. Thank
You
you.
are a fast learner. You are not like me. You are a fast learner.
Thank you. Very good. I clap my hands and thank you.
I want to inform my participants. He is my cousin brother who is participating now. His name is Engineer Rajamani Iyer. He actually is a retired executive engineer from NTPC and his age is 77. At the age of 77, he is showing a lot of interest towards updating his knowledge in new technologies. Hats off to such participants.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your wonderful presentation, ma'am. It give immense eye-opening to all the participants, those who need to work in machine learning or deep learning. Valuable presentation. Thank you very much, ma'am. Once again, I thank all the participants for the patient listening as well as more interaction with the chief guest, Dr. S. Kalyani, ma'am. I think all of you have got information related to deep learning and machine learning and MATLAB session also. Once again, I thank all of them. Feedback link already I have posted it. Try to fill the feedback. Then only you can get the eligible for attending assessment and all. Thank you all. Next session will start at 1:30 sharply at 1:30 today. Kindly connect it sharply. Thank you all. Once again, I thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All of you be safe. Take care. Have a good lunch and come back.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.